The current state of Marvel is something we've talked a lot about around here. It's declined. Marvel has declined. They still put out some remarkable stuff, right? Since Endgame, we've had some solid outings like Spider-Man No Way Home, like WandaVision, like Ms. Marvel, like Shang-Chi, like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But they've also put out a larger than normal for them amount of mediocrity, and some less than mediocrity that we've been adjusted to and used to, which has made a lot of people speculate recently about, is Marvel going to change directions? Now, we've heard a lot of whispers and reports about writers being removed, this happening, that maybe they're looking at this, maybe they're looking at that. But one of the big core ones we've heard a lot is that they might be looking at moving away from the Kang storyline altogether. But never has that been more, let's say, reputable than it is now. This comes to us from the folks over at Coming Soon who wrote the following. Speaking on the Ringer's House of R podcast, co-writer of the new Marvel book, MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios, we've talked a lot about that book recently, Joanna Robinson claimed that Jeff Loveness, who wrote, I believe, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, is no longer working on Avengers 5. She said, I heard from someone recently, the screenwriter Jeff Loveness, who wrote Quantumania, was supposed to write the Kang Dynasty. Anyway, it's confirmed they're gone. We've heard that report before, that Jeff Loveness was gone. But what we had not heard was what she goes on to say here. Had it confirmed to me she's no longer working on Marvel, I asked the person why, and they said that the reason why is he was all wrapped up in this Kang storyline, and they are likely going to be moving away from that. That they are, remember, this is from the author of the MCU, Reign of Marvel Studios, the person who probably has the most concrete contacts inside Marvel right now, saying that they are likely going to be moving away from the Kang storyline. Now, this is kind of bolstered a little bit by the finale of Loki Season 2, because Loki Season 2 kind of does away with the need for Kang. Right? You now have a god of stories. You have Loki sitting on the throne, controlling the timeline, and the TVA, by the end of Loki Season 2, is no longer there to prune new sprouting timelines, but they are there now just strictly dedicated to hunting down Kang variants. And it ends with Mobius literally going over one file. Okay, we just took care of this Kang variant, and they're moving on. And really, if they wanted to now move away from the Kang storyline, that's where you can say it wrapped up. Yep, the TVA is now just going around cleaning up all the remaining Kang variants. That's it. The Kang storyline is done, if they want to present it that way. Whether they are or not, we will find out for sure in the coming months and next year or two. But also, here's the thing. If they are moving away from the Kang storyline, I am all for it. Because while you had an interesting introduction to the character in Loki Season 1 with He Who Remains, the true quote-unquote coming out party for Kang in the MCU was meant to be Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And that was underwhelming. I'm not talking about the movie as a whole. I just mean the introduction to the character of Kang. He literally got beat by Ant-Man. He got beat by Ant-Man. And I love Ant-Man, don't get me wrong. But what have they done with Kang? I'm somebody who watches all this stuff religiously. I still can't even tell you, in the MCU, we're not talking about the comic books, in the MCU, what does Kang even do? What's his ability? What's his power? Why is he scary? Like, we've now had him in 2 seasons, a dedicated movie, and we, like most average movie fans watching the MCU stuff, don't even know, why is this guy scary? Like, right from the beginning, with the first Avengers movie, and it ends with us seeing, to challenge them is to court death. And then for the first time, Thanos turns around and everybody shit their pants. Everybody in the movie theaters, they say, I don't know who that is, but that dude's scary.
Cleanup sucked.
Everybody was completely invested right away. And we've been going on now 1.5 years, 2 years of them trying to build up the Kang Dynasty, the Kang storyline. And I think most people right now don't even really care about Kang all that much. He Who Remains is pretty cool, but I don't think most people really care. Not to mention, I think the whole multiverse saga has been, I'm not going to say a failure, but has been a bit of a dud. Again, and as much as I love Loki season 2, and yes, overall, I loved Loki season 2. Loved it. But a lot of average fans, a lot of what I would call normies, have no flipping idea what was going on in the last episode of Loki season 2. Like, not a single clue. The Marvel Cinematic Universe with the whole multiverse saga has gone too inside baseball and has become kind of a dedicated thing just for the hardcore comic book readers, and it's been alienating a lot of other people, I think. Not all their stuff, some of it's been great, and I've loved some of it. But if they were to move away, and by the way, we haven't even started talking about Jonathan Majors' legal problems. I mean, just recently, Jonathan Majors had his motion to dismiss the case rejected, and he's starting trial here pretty soon. And we don't know how that's going to go. But even that aside, put that aside, I just think the Kang experiment hasn't really worked. You could make a solid argument that they haven't really given it a full chance yet. You wouldn't be wrong if you were to say that. But it's had enough of a chance. Right? We had Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania featuring Kang. We've had Loki season 1 and season 2. And the audience just hasn't gotten on board with it. So would I be terribly upset if they said that they're going to keep moving forward with Kang and they're going to do Avengers 5 as Kang Dynasty? I won't be upset because I still trust that they can, now that at least Bob Chapek isn't in charge over there, I believe they can try to right the ship. But I think I am more on board with the idea of moving away from Kang. And there are rumors and whispers, for whatever those are worth, that they might be going towards a Doom, which I think everybody would get excited about. That's cool. But even if it was another villain, that's fine too. I think going in a different direction right now, and with only one Marvel film coming out in 2024, that's Deadpool 3, that gives them a lot of time to start making some adjustments, to start nudging towards a different storyline. I don't know. Listen, we've heard these whispers. I just think coming from Joanna Robinson, it's a lot more credible now. And I think there would be upside going in this direction. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Quip. Guys, you know that good health starts with good habits, and Quip makes it easy by delivering all the oral care essentials that you need to care for your mouth. For example, their incredible electric toothbrush. Guys, I've been using electric toothbrushes for years, and this is easily the best one I've ever owned. Timed sonic vibrations with 30-second pulses to guide a dentist-recommended 2-minute clean. A lightweight and sleek design for adults and kids with no wires or bulky charger to weigh you down. Reusable handles in a range of sleek metal hues, as well as bright plastic colors, sure to make a pop on your bathroom counter. Skip the batteries and snap into healthy habits with the new rechargeable electric toothbrush. All the features of the original Quip, plus one magnetic charge, powers up to 3 months of brushing. In addition to brush heads, Quip also delivers fresh floss, toothpaste, mouthwash, and gum refills every 3 months from just $7. So if you go to getquip.com/Campea right now, you'll get 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, or water flosser. That's your 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, water flosser at getquip.com/Campea. That's GETQUIP.com/Campea. Quip, the good habits company. I know, Chris, you hear about this report. How believable do you think it is? Is it the right move for them to do? What are the chances here? How do you see it?
I definitely think there's validity to they could pivot because they could. Will they pivot? I really think that is how this court case pans out. And everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And I think Disney is holding on to a little bit of hope that they continue with their plans unscathed. That being said, so far, to your point, we really don't get who Kang is. We don't get who He Who Remains is very much. Basically, what makes him so powerful is his access to 40th century technology, his ability to time travel, being aware of the past, present, and future, being able to control those outcomes, and having all of those variants, right? We haven't really seen that be powerful and successful, though, have we? And the end of Loki, as we talked about when we were talking about the series finale, where they really took from that kind of Agent Loki storyline, it kind of leads into a potential story that does usher in Doom, right? We saw the world tree. It's very
Yep.
much like Doom's throne in like when he's on Battle World in the Secret Wars thing. There was a really interesting write-up in, I think, Screen Rant, talking about how they think the natural progression could be going from that storyline, but putting Loki at the center of it instead of Doom, since we haven't even had our Victor Von Doom introduced to us yet. I don't see them making Loki the big bad again, though, because he's had this beautiful redemption arc.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there will be more of a heroic kind of story for him of playing with those thread lines
Right,
and
yesterday,
everything.
Tom Hiddleston said he was done playing Loki, so
Yeah.
who knows what they're going to do with that.
But I don't believe anyone. I don't trust or love anyone in Marvel. But I don't know if they're going to completely scrap Kang. I feel like it's just a lot of wait and see right now. But I get it. I get that not only do we have this whole legal issue, we just also haven't had a particularly strong character. Scott Lang beat the shit out of this guy.
Listen, don't disrespect Scott.
I love Scott Lang. I love Ant-Man. I love Paul Rudd. But that's our next Thanos level threat?
Well, see, here's the thing. Like,
but there's a lot of them.
I loved Jonathan Majors. Like, I did not like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, but I loved Jonathan Majors as Kang in the role, right? It was a very cool character and all that kind of stuff. He was great. But the problem was, while he was a pretty good antagonist for that one offset Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, what did not come out of that was a sense of this is truly the big bad of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we've kind of experienced that I don't think many fans are even looking. And again, forget the legal problems Jonathan Majors is having. I'm saying even if Jonathan Majors wasn't facing any legal potential hurdles, forget that. It just might be time to move on from the Kang thing, because while it worked kind of in the one movie, it hasn't worked for the cinematic universe because the fans aren't feeling it, I don't think. I don't know. Do you agree or see it another way?
Sorry, I'm reading the chat of like, he absolutely didn't beat Kang. How did that movie end, you guys? Did Kang jump through the portal?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he beat Kang.
Like,
He
I
beat
don't
Kang. He won.
care that you all are like,
Ant-Man won.
Kang punched him a whole bunch. He sure did, but Ant-Man won that fight. Sit down. Watch a movie. Read a comic book. So I think that a lot of audience members, honestly, just don't know where Marvel's going in general. And I think the stuff with Kang has just been a little confusing and odd. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with it. Sorry, I lost my trail of thought because I was just like, what the hell?
Yeah, and the reality is we're still years away from Avengers 5 and 6. So they do still have some time to build up somebody else if they wanted to.
But to be fair, we still haven't seen the extent of what Kang can do, or I haven't. And also, we got the little snippets of Thanos throughout all those movies, like, oh, he's coming. We had that rumbling, and then they just threw Kang at us, like out of nowhere. It's kind of like we had anticipated. They were throwing these mid-villains at us, like Obsidian, Cole Obsidian, and those characters. And then we got to, he was like, what's Thanos say? He said, he got the glove and said,
I'll do it myself.
I'll do it myself. And that's when we were just like, when is this coming out? When they gave us 2 great movies with Thanos in it. I just don't think it's been fair for us to expect Kang to be even close to Thanos right now.
Let's put it this way, though. Darth Vader became the greatest villain in cinematic history in 5 minutes. From the moment he walked through the smoke on that Corellian Corvette that Princess Leia was on, within 5 minutes, he was the greatest cinematic villain ever. Like, people were completely on board with that. When did Loki season 1 come out? 2 years ago? They've had 2 years. 2 seasons of television, a dedicated movie, and as soon as Thanos turned around smiling when the guy says to challenge them is to court death, from that moment, all the audience was on board with it. They have not gotten the audience on board with Kang yet. And there might be some hardcoreys out there that said, well, because they were already looking forward to Kang. But I think with the average moviegoer, I don't think anybody cares about Kang.
Like, you can't tell somebody this is a big threat. You can't say this is a villain.
They've had 2 years to make us feel it, and they haven't done it yet.
You got to show me that, because, well, oh my gosh, yes, Loki seeing Victor Timely and being terrified. It's a great acting moment for Tom. But for us as an audience, we haven't felt that threat. You got to put it in there. You got to show us, not tell us.
We don't even have the Avengers team yet, anyways. Too.
Yeah.
So
By the way, Guillaume Lebel in the live chat was saying, "Who's the purple guy?" In 2012, who was the purple guy? Yeah, but man, I'll tell you, I remember being in that theater, that watching the first Avengers, and that thing he turns around, looks in the camera, smiles. The whole theater erupted, and even people who like Guillaume were saying, "Who's the purple guy?" You just felt it. Like Marvel set it up in a way that within a year or two after that first introduction, everybody was looking forward to who this guy is and what he's going to do. And in 2 years, they haven't done that with Kang. We're 2 years in, 3 projects, if you count 2 seasons and a movie, and nobody knows why they should care about this character. He's had a full movie, and we still the average audience doesn't even know what he does. And why is he a threat? And they made us feel that with Thanos, and they haven't done it with Kang.
He's the worst type of villain to me too. Like Kang, like it's the ones that annoy me is the mental sort of they're more mental in their disruption of whatever's going on,
right?
Than physical, as in Thanos was just like, I'm gonna pound these fools, like
going to Pound Town.
Pound Town.
One-way ticket to Pound Town.
I don't think that's where Thanos took people.
Fear it.
Yeah, so I'm
thinking of the
kind
backdoor
sad
spreader
that
again.
This is not going to play out just because I wanted to see if they do scrap it. I wanted to see where they we're going with him, because I still don't think we've seen enough of what he's trying to do.
But that's their fault.
Yeah,
they've had
that
2
is their
years,
fault.
2
Yeah, that's not
seasons, a full
Kang's-
movie, and they still haven't done it.
I think people should understand. We're not saying like the character Kang sucks.
No,
It's that
not
what
at
they-
all.
It's what
Not
they
in the
did.
least.
They're not. They're like towing us along. They're stringing us along.
And once again, you shouldn't have to have in-depth Marvel knowledge, comic book knowledge, to know how this character is going to pan out. You should be able to watch this movie as a filthy casual and go, "Oh shit, Kang's a bad motherfucker."
Yeah, which is what they've always done before, and
Yeah.
and I think they've realized that, and now they're looking at pivoting towards a character they can bring in that does establish that with the audience a lot more quickly. I mean, they could have done it with Kang. Kang is an excellent character. They could have done it, but they dropped the ball. So I don't know. We'll see where they're going with this. I'm sure many of you guys have many opinions on this, so let us know what you guys think. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.